Yeah. What is up? Welcome to Big Kid with Will Bryant. I'm your host. I'm Will Bryant. And I want to start off all, cool, calm, collected, and smooth, but I can't. Not going to happen. Not right now. Not today. Nothing real serious happened, to be honest with you. All's good. But I'm a little annoyed already. I'm upset. I'm a little pissed. It's real stupid. Why? But let me tell you. For anybody watching on YouTube or that has watched on YouTube ever, first of all, thank you. Follow me at I'm Will Bryant on YouTube. Like and subscribe. On Instagram. On Twitter. On Twitch. On TikTok. Hell, even Spotify. All of that. I'm Will Bryant. That's 3 words at I'm Will Bryant. BRYANT. Like Kobe. And if you watch on YouTube, you might notice that this big ass purple doll action figure that looms over my shoulder, he goes by the name of Galactus. He, if you have a keen eye, and of course, I bet there's not a single soul in the entire world that ever even noticed this, because why bother? But that Galactus has the ability to flash lights from his chest and his eyeballs. I think his eyeballs, or his head, his forehead. So before I start recording, one of my things is to always push the button on his chest to get his lights to start flashing. And I did it today, and suddenly the son of a bitch just tilts forward, and he's like 4 feet tall, and he knocks over like a half a dozen of my most loyal Marvel heroes. Literally seconds before I was about to press record. I unfortunately didn't press record, so fucking this guy falls on top of me, and I don't even get content out of it. Further reason why I'm annoyed. Let me drink some coffee. That's right, you heard me right, coffee. I'm all wired up. Maybe that's why. So yeah, that's why I'm a little annoyed. Nothing real. Nothing like that should really bother an adult 35-year-old male. No. I'm pissed because my toy fell. Granted, it's a 4-foot fucking tall toy. But still. Why am I pissed? Why is my day starting off on the wrong foot? Because my toy fell. You stay upright. You know what? I want to so badly make that light come up, but if that son of a bitch falls one more time, I might lose it. That's all I have to say about that. It's not actually. I have more to say about that. I'm annoyed because my toy fell. My doll. I'm a grown man. I think, like by law, at least. All right, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Wish me luck, guys. Gonna turn on Galactus's lights. Oh, yeah. The lights are on. I'm ready. Look at this. I got Cyclops on the floor, Iron Man on the floor, Black Panther, Falcon, Rogue, Silver Surfer, Nova. No, I didn't pick them up. It was just now. I was so frustrated. I was like, you know what? You're staying on the ground. I gathered them. I like arranged them nicely. But they're on the ground. If I would have spent time standing them back up on my little dollhouse over here, this show would come out next Tuesday. And then my dozens and dozens of fans or to the dozen of people that feel guilty enough in their lives that they at least download this show, they would be like, hey, no show this week? And I would have been like, no, sorry, my dolls fell. I had to pick them up. Besides that, last week was kind of a I don't know. It was a different episode. I feel like every week for the past month, I keep starting off the episode by recapping how different the last episode felt. I guess it's a, what do you call it? Transitional time in my life right now. It's not just I'm changing jobs. It's just I'm not just at any other bar now, so it's there's opportunity here. There's I'd be real dumb to kind of just waste this one. That's how I feel. And if for anyone that's a little lost or unclear, first of all, thanks for not listening to last week's episode, douchebag. But previously on Big Kid with Will Bryant, I quit my job at the Horny Ram and started training at the world-renowned Comedy Cellar in downtown New York. Yes, I know. Pause for applause, and I go on. I'm actually still going through the training process, but I am at least scheduled for some real shifts for some, non-training, actual live shifts as we call them in the industry. At the end of next week. I'm drinking water and coffee, guys. Are you proud of me? So yeah, I'm still technically training. I go in later today for another training shift. But so far, so good. I'm definitely liking it there. It's very different from what I'm used to. I've worked at bars and restaurants. I've never worked at a comedy club, and working at a comedy club is definitely very different and a very different vibe. The thing about where I work, the Comedy Cellar. So a lot of people don't know the Comedy Cellar right now has 3 different locations technically. Now, the one that I work at in McDougal is like the original location, but they have expanded to incorporate other locations just right around the block, one being at the Village Underground and one right next door to that at the Fat Black Pussycat, which is I swear is the name of the bar. So, yeah, as I was saying, there's 3 locations. McDougal Street is the original. Then they have Village Underground and Fat Black Pussycat, which is legitimately the name of a bar / lounge. I remember I used to go there, and not often, but I'd definitely been there when I was younger. I used to hang out in the West 4th area in general when I was younger. Haven't really hung out regularly in that area, probably since my late 20s. Yeah, but it's different, I guess, when you're in that area, I guess, feeling a bit more mature. I've already run into some people that I know from the industry, which is pretty fun. But back to, I figured I could kind of make this episode a small little window into what my new job is like, but also with like a disclaimer, because here's the thing. This isn't going to be, I'll never have a show or an episode where I dish this behind the scenes dirt or something like that. Now that I work somewhere where, now that I work at a comedy club, that's never going to happen here. I respect my place of work too much right now, and I respect the fact that these, people, these comedians and their friends that come to see them are expecting the Cellar and any comedy club for that matter to be kind of a safe haven for them, somewhere where they can go to just work out new material and be around other people of their profession, of their craft, and act freely, act differently, speak the way they want to each other. I'm sure for a comedian, being able to just hang out with other comedians in a safe area, a safe space, a safe haven, a judge-free zone is something that they look forward to and come to love and enjoy very much. So the last thing I'm going to do is come on here and start talking about what these comedians, act like or talk about or whatever. That's not what this is ever going to be about. But there is, cool stuff that happens that I think that is all right to talk about to a certain extent. And yeah, I guess every now and then I'll talk about stuff like that. I'll mention some things later on in this episode too. But I just kind of wanted to, I guess, describe what a shift is like for me, really. Because if I tell most of my friends that, or if I just tell somebody I meet that I work at a bar and it's some your typical bar or restaurant or whatever, they'll pretty much get what my job is about within one sentence, right? I probably don't even have to go into detail, Oh, I work at so-and-so bar. Oh, yeah? Is it busy? What's that like? Whatever. But if I tell someone that I work at a comedy club, they might be a little bit more unclear as to how a normal day at work looks like for me, I was unclear going into the job. And I got it. And I still wasn't really sure. So the thing about the Comedy Cellar at McDougal Street where I work is that it's also a part, or like this, it's owned by the same person that owns the Olive Tree Cafe. So it's right above the cellar. In fact, if you go to just have a meal at the Olive Tree Cafe at any point and have to use the bathroom, you have to go downstairs and walk through the Comedy Cellar, either while it's empty or literally during a show, just to get to the bathroom. So now that I work at the Comedy Cellar, I'm also working X amount of shifts upstairs at the Olive Tree Cafe as well. Now I'm still training. So when and how many shifts I'll be working at each, I'm unsure. I'm under the impression that it's like more downstairs in the cellar than it is upstairs in the Olive Tree Cafe. But we'll see. It's all new for me, The cool thing is that there's aspects to working at either floor, at either location on a given day that I do enjoy. First, if a day when I'm working in the cellar downstairs, it's basically, I'm a pure service bartender. So I'm not at a bar where I talk to anybody at all. There's no customer interaction at all on my end. The servers that are out on the floor that walk around during the comedy show will take orders, throughout comedian sets. And weekdays, there's 3 shows that last about an hour and a half. And we give ourselves about 15 to 25 minutes to clean up and sit everyone down and get started for the next show. So it's like 2-hour intervals or something like that. But yeah, so there's 3 shows a day, weekdays, and then Friday, Saturday, there's 4. And me as a bartender, I'm basically just looking at tickets being printed out, sometimes by the dozen, it feels like, and cranking out beers or cranking out cocktails and getting them out to the servers who then run them out to the people seated at their seats and enjoying comedy. It's very high volume, intense, like waves of high volume and intensity, followed by lulls of not, you're never like dead, but like there are lulls where you could kind of just pull a ticket, make the drink, no problem. But I have already in 1 week been in situations where we have, and I'm not exaggerating, 20 tickets printed up at least, and we're just working to get out of the weeds if you will. But the thing is, it's not really the weeds because it's expected. That's what's going to happen at that moment. When everyone sits down and starts ordering right before the show, you're going to get a crap ton of, I don't know why I censored myself. You're going to get a shit ton of tickets that come out. But, you know, it's not like, oh, shit, we're fucking up or anything. No, that's just the nature of the beast. That's the way it is now in this new, I guess, this new subsection of the industry that I now find myself in. If you were to tell me at one of my old bar/restaurants that I was working service bar, and I had 20 tickets lined up for me to make, and they were still printing out behind me, that would sound like a nightmare. That would sound like code red. Something must have gone wrong for that to be taking place at one of the bars that I had worked out previously to this. Never in my career, I don't know, it's like 7+ years in the industry, about 4 or 5 of those bartending, I kind of forget now. Never have I been in a situation where the service bar is 20+ tickets deep. No, I've seen 10, and 10 can be like, all right, you know, roll up your sleeves. Holy shit, let's get to work, you know? And if it's 10, something must have like kind of gone wrong. I don't know. It's kind of rare. You know, if you're like 3, 4, 5 deep, then, you know, that's fine. You're at a kind of a busy place. 10, like a lot, you know, that's pretty nuts. I've never seen a place consistently be 20 deep. Sounds like I'm talking about a gang. 20 tickets deep. But that's what happens on a regular shift, right? Regular Comedy Cellar shift. But then, you know, you have moments where you kind of chill or whatever. And it can feel high pressure. The amount of pressure and anxiety that I felt on day one compared to like where I am now, about 2 weeks in, a little bit longer to, I think I've had 5 shifts now at the Cellar. The amount of anxiety and pressure that I have felt goes down a lot per shift. So I already feel like it's something that I'll definitely, if I haven't already gotten the hang of it yet, it's not going to be very long. I feel pretty good about that. In fact, I felt more unsure about myself once I had to start doing work upstairs in the Olive Tree Cafe, only because there I'm actually like inputting stuff into the computer, and it's just a new system, you know, and I'm not used to that, and it's just I didn't want to screw anything up on that, you know. I really don't want to screw up anything on just because I'm learning a new system, you know. I don't feel like I'm struggling at all with you know, making drinks in the cafe either. Small things like, you know what? I've never been a barista. I've never made coffee, so I am learning that. Cappuccinos and espressos or whatever. Thankfully, I just have a machine that, you know, lets me press whatever button. But still, even that, I will probably find a way to fuck that up, you know. The cool thing about working upstairs in the cafe is that there's no green room in the Comedy Cellar, so the comics just kind of chill there until it's their turn to go up. So, you know, just it's just cool to see them in their element, and also just talk to them. You know, that's cool. I don't go out of my way to bother them, but, you know, if I'm the bartender, I am there. And they'll talk to me sometimes, and, you know, it's just nice to, as someone that is aspiring to kind of be one of them, the fact that I can just hold a conversation with them is some weird, I don't know, is validation the right word for me? I'll do anything to validate myself, so maybe that is the right word, but it's just nice to be able to hold conversations with them and realize, like, they're not these unattainable figures that I revere. I mean, they are people that I respect and revere just because they're doing something that I've only kind of dreamt about and only have recently now talked about wanting to do. But, you know, it feels a lot more tangible now. There's a realism to what I only used to dream about now. And something as simple as talking to a comedian and making them laugh or chuckle, like that, it's a small little I don't know, kind of like pat on the shoulder or pat on the back for me, like hey, you see, you're not a complete idiot. You're not a complete fuck up. Someone that does what you want to do, that makes other people laugh, you just made that person laugh. So, keep at it. I don't know. I think people like me search for validation in any place that they can find it. Tell me I'm good. Just tell me I'm good. That's all I want to hear. In my short tenure there, I've already realized that there's a lot of stuff that goes on. It's a very happening place, Easily my most I guess eventful shift happened this past Monday. And if you guys remember all the way back to my B Squad friend episode, we have a friend that I have codenamed Chanel. Chanel works in the hotel industry and told my girlfriend that they were she had a stressful day or something because they were preparing for Dave Chappelle to arrive. And when my girlfriend told me that, I was like, I wonder if he might make an appearance at the Comedy Cellar then to work out some stuff. I have already heard that he is no stranger to the Comedy Cellar. And I did not work Sunday, but on Sunday, he did just that. I came in on Monday and heard from some of the people that were working the night before that he showed up, and he didn't show up alone. I was told that Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def, and Talib Kweli were perhaps in attendance as well. I will say that the person that told me that, perhaps might struggle pointing them out in a lineup or something like that. But I don't know. Put it this way: I didn't vet my sources. It's just what I was told. But and it makes sense because Black Star was the duo of Mos Def and Talib. They were on Dave Chappelle's Cookout movie, whole festival thing. The other cool thing that I heard was that there perhaps might have been an appearance by Ryan Coogler, who directed Black Panther and Creed before that. That sounds pretty cool. And then I worked that Monday when I heard that. First of all, I also heard that Chris Rock was around. And that makes sense because Dave and Chris are working on on material for their tour. They're going on tour together. They're doing a massive, it's definitely, if it's not arena, it's stadium, but it's one of the two. They're going on a massive tour. The two of them. That sounds like one of the craziest comedy duos of all time, really. But anyways, and then I'm bartending with my friend my coworker who's training me as well on Monday in the cellar, and I hear the whispers that he's coming back today to work on some more stuff. And yep, it was and Andrew Schulz was part of that show. He had a set kind of in the middle, and then to end it was Dave Chappelle. And it's cool because the crowd that shows up for that show, they have no idea what comedians are gonna sometimes there's a lineup day of, but when Dave Chappelle shows up, he's not part of the lineup, he just shows up. So imagine going to a Monday night comedy show at the Cellar and just wanting to see anybody or whatever, and you're pretty happy with the lineup, and then the last person is just, and by the way, now Dave Chappelle. The crowd went crazy. It exploded. It was for me, who had never experienced that before. It's pretty cool to be there for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk about any of his material or whatever. And that's another thing that I'm not gonna do here is, we'll never tell a joke that I heard a comedian say on stage. You know, that seems pretty messed up. I think as far as I'll go is just say like, yeah, so and so showed up, you know, and that's the case. I won't even tell anyone that someone might show up in the future or anything like that. But I thought that was cool. And then one of the things that I have to do, or like a bartender has to do, is like they have to just stand out at the end of a show and collect these receipts from people. And so I was out there for that second show just for like the last 10 minutes or so. And as soon as I go out there, I notice this big dude directly to my right. And I'm like, holy crap. That's Israel Adesanya. That's the UFC middleweight champion of the world. Right? Middleweight. I think he's at 185. Yeah. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I just heard and caught a glimpse of Dave Chappelle, and then I come out here and Israel Adesanya is just in the crowd. He later on I saw that he had just done the Helwani report with Ariel Helwani. So I guess Ariel films in New York, which makes sense. And I believe I believe that he was actually there with Andrew Schultz and not Chappelle. But either way, that's a pretty cool little surprise. I made it a point to not even acknowledge him, but like I didn't want to. I'm gonna not act like a fan. Put it this way, to anyone that shows up. That's something I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna act like a fan. Like I said, this is a safe haven, not just for the comedians, but for people that are there to see comedians or that have been invited by a comedian to see them. You know. So as someone that works there, I'm not gonna like bother Israel basically. However, when he came up to me to ask me a question, I was just like, yes, interaction, woo. He asked me a simple question about like getting back to the Olive Tree Cafe from the cellar. And it was like one of 5 questions that I actually had the answer to this far into my training. And I was in my head just fist pumping like, yeah, the champ asked me a question and I can't answer it. Woo, let's do this. And I was just like, yes, sir, blah, blah. Answered the question, quick little fist bump, and on he went. And then he got mobbed by people that recognized him and was very nice to everyone, which was really fucking cool to see. So that was a fun Monday for sure. That was the middle show, and I still have to work on the show after that. But that was fun. You know, that was it got my adrenaline going a little bit. It felt like a very, as I heard other people say, they're like that was such a Comedy Cellar-esque show or moment or night or whatever, you know, like to go to a comedy. In fact, I was having a short conversation with the comedian that hosted that the next day, and she had told me that was the first time she hosted in a show at the Comedy Cellar. And I was like, that's an incredible first show. Like you had so many like comedians come up, and you had like Dave Chappelle, a surprise Chappelle appearance, and a UFC champion in the crowd. And it was just really, fun to just see how it was. I geeked out, but she geeked out too. You know, it was cool. It was fun. What an experience. Yeah. So there's gonna be, I guess that's what I'm looking forward to, is just it's fun working somewhere where every now and then you might get this jolt of adrenaline, you know. I wonder if I'll be jaded by it, and if so, how long till I am jaded by it, you know. Hopefully I still hold on to this, you know, like excitement for a while. I tend to be the guy that gets jaded often. I don't know. I'm also the guy that like I can never enjoy something for as long as I should. I'm always thinking about what's going to go wrong, even if nothing has gone wrong. So, in fact, I mentioned like a week or two, I think 2 weeks ago, I mentioned how I have, you know, recurring nightmares often. And one of the more annoying recurring nightmares that I have, it's so It's like so, what's the word? Like, it's so docile. It's so nerfed out compared to some other recurring nightmares that I have. Like, I have a recurring nightmare where like a bunch of my dead relatives show up, and at one point, like, I go to the bathroom and all my teeth fall out into my hands, and no one acts like it's a big deal except for me, and I have to pretend like it's not. That's a weird one, and that one fucks with me for a lot of reasons. Then I have the one that I woke up to today, and it's been one of my most recurring nightmares. But it's, no dead relatives, no teeth falling out of the mouth, nothing like that. It's literally me walking through the halls of what either feels like a high school or college. And it's like the last week of that semester or whatever. And through talking with like classmates or other people or whatever, they start asking me how I feel about a certain like class or final or whatever. And little by little, I tell them like, oh yeah, like we go through my schedule. I'm like, yeah, English, our thesis is due today, and I didn't write a single word. And in like our art class, I'll be like, I haven't handed in my last 3 projects. We'll talk about like my math class, and I'll say I've cut so many of that class. I didn't even take the midterm. There's always like 1 or 2 classes that I feel okay about, but then 4 classes that I know there's no way I'm passing. Because it's not like, oh, I'm struggling a little bit. No, it's like, didn't go to class for the midterm, never handed in 2 projects, have nothing to hand in today as far as a final essay goes. Like, there's just no way, right? For one, I haven't showed up all semester. So I know that I'm like dead man walking here, that I'm just going to each of these classes now to know that I'm failing and that I'm getting kicked out or something. Now, here's the thing. I'm not this fucking aloof dreamer that doesn't understand why I keep having this dream. No. I literally failed out of college for basically doing exactly this. I failed out of classes because I never attended and never even bothered to drop. I got to a point where I dropped too many classes and couldn't drop anymore, so I just started failing them. I definitely did not hand in papers or assignments. I definitely skipped more than half a semester. I definitely did all of this stuff. And it led to me being kicked out from Stony Brook University, and it is legitimately perhaps the most... it's probably the biggest regret I've had in my life, or one of. Definitely top 5 if we ever did like a list of that. Definitely top 5, because it was a lot of money that I wasted of my own, of my parents' money, time, and I just let my parents down so badly. And yeah, I felt like I ruined my future. And then from then on out, anytime that I was in a place in my life where I was struggling or things were not anywhere or haven't been as good as I felt like they could have been, had I just been a normal student and got a degree like everyone else, I go back to that moment and blame that. Even though I have had a career, I had a 9-to-5, like I had a taste of that life, and I realized, ooh, I really don't like this. Maybe I would feel different about like having gotten to this place in life without going through that literally failure. I know I always jokingly call myself a failure in random aspects of life. That was a literal failure. I failed out of college. My mind knows that moment of my life holds a lot of weight for like my soul. So what does it do? Whenever I go to sleep, it brings it back up boldly, vibrantly. I will be in bed sleeping, feeling anxiety from the fact that I'm about to fail classes that I'm not in. When I wake up, I have to take time to remind myself, you're not going to class today. And not because you're cutting. because you don't have a class to go to. You're good. You already failed out. You literally already lived through your nightmare. You're good. So just wake the fuck up and go brush your teeth and smoke a joint. Maybe you'll feel better. I have to talk myself through the fact that, oh, I can't fail again. I didn't re-register just to fail again. I already did it. That's why that dream is a little bit, I don't know. I feel like it's easier for me to snap out of, but it's so weird because it's so real. You know, when I wake up from the dream where I had a fucking family party with all my dead relatives and my teeth are in my mouth, you know, there's no part of me that wakes up and goes, don't worry, Will, that already happened. You already had the zombie barbecue and your handful of teeth moment. So that can't happen again. That doesn't happen. That one freaks me out just because that should freak me the fuck out. I'm failing class. That one just makes me like, it's such an there's no Freudian message behind that dream, really. I'm waking up and I'm like, oh, I'm stressing about the biggest failure of my life because I think I'm fucking something up right now. And that is what it is, you know? Like I am, even look, I have this new job, and so there's a better outlook on my life right now. I feel better about what's going on just because I see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm still in the tunnel, you know, like, and I've been training for like 3 weeks. So that's 3 weeks of working as a bartender without getting tips, which means I'm working like minimum wage right now. And let's just say that times is rough for me right now, but I kind of look at it as paying my dues to get something better. And like I said, by the end of next week, I will have finally started, knock on wood, my live shifts, my tipped shifts, my real shifts. Like my training will be done by then. And if I continue doing as well as I have thus far, then, you know, I should be just fine. But yeah, things right now. Yeah, it's when you deal with anxiety and depression, it's not really like a light switch. You don't just fucking feel better just because something went right. In fact, I have this weird thing where I can be mad about something, and then the reason that I am angry will be solved, and the problem will not exist anymore, but I will still be upset that it ever happened. If you're confused, no problem. I have a perfect example because this happens to me all the time. If I'm getting ready, getting dressed to go out, doesn't matter if it's going out to work or going out to eat or to whatever. If I'm going out and I have either like my joint or my keys or my iPod, how old am I? Jesus Christ. My AirPods, the hell. If I have my Discman, if I have my Walkman, if I have my T-Mobile Sidekick with me, I need all of that. I have to make sure my Motorola Razr is nearby, and the two-way pager. Got it. I need my Motorola two-way pager. Need that. In fact, I also need my other pager where you can only send me your number because that's the most. That's the easiest way to contact me. Just page me, and then send me the number of your landline, and then I'll respond to that. So yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, as my old ass was saying. If I had put my cell phone down, my keys, my AirPods somewhere, moments before leaving, and then I turn around and I forgot where they were, and then I look for them, and I fucking have to take my jacket off because I'm looking for them for so long that I start sweating, and I don't want to fucking be sweating just because I can't find my goddamn keys or my phone or my AirPods, and And then my girl sees me just huffing and puffing and walking around. She's like, what's wrong? It's like, I can't find my fucking keys. She's like, didn't you just have them? I was like, I know I just had them. That's part of this frustration right here, you know? If I never had them, I'd be like, damn, where the fuck did I put those shits? I don't know. But if I had them and then lost them a second later, that's fucking stupid. And I feel fucking stupid right now. And hot because I had my jacket on for 5 minutes looking for this goddamn thing. And then if suddenly I find them somewhere, or God forbid she finds them somewhere, and problem solved, right? The anger was because the keys were gone. Now the keys are found. You should be happy, right? Right? No, I'm pissed I lost that shit in the first place. That's how stupid I am. Problem solved? Anger gone? No, anger stays because problem ever happened in the first place. What is that about? The moment the problem is solved, so my anger should be gone with the problem. They should both fly away into the land that doesn't matter anymore. But no, for me, problem gone, anger stays. Why were you mad? Well, couldn't find my fucking keys. Oh, did you find them? Yeah. Why are you mad? Because I couldn't find my fucking keys. That's why. I will show up to your goddamn birthday party pissed. And they'll ask me, oh, what's up with Will? And they're like, oh, he couldn't find his joint. Isn't he smoking right now? Yeah. He's a fucking moron. That's him. Yo, Will, what's up? I'm good. Why are you pissed? Couldn't find my fucking joint for how long? For like a day? No, for like 5 minutes. But you're literally getting high right now. It should have never happened, God damn it. I should have never been wondering where this joint was. One time I lost a joint right before going to bed. I rolled a joint and I was like, I need my good night joint. Before I go night-night, I need to get high. I fucking rolled it. I did something. I came back. Joint gone. Will pissed. Now I know we just talked about how I lose shit within seconds. And I get pissed because holy shit, this is the epitome of that. I know exactly where I left it. At least I thought I did. And there was no finding it 5 minutes later. No. I rolled a new joint. I smoked that joint. Did I come back and go to bed happy? No. I was pissed I ever looked for the joint and can't answer anybody when they ask me, where is it? Now, here's the thing. Is anybody asking me that? No. But I don't have the answer. Where did that joint go? I'll tell you where it went. Because weeks later, my girl's sweeping and finds a joint on the floor with goddamn teeth marks on it. Cat claws all over it. My goddamn cat stole the joint just to fuck around with it and to fuck around with me. My cat. So that time it wasn't my fault. And when I saw the joint, do you think I laughed and went, oh, silly kitty, fucking with daddy? No, I saw that shit and I went, motherfucker, man. That shit drove me crazy. You remember way back when I made an episode called 4 Concussions and a Gun? Every time that I lose something like that, I think, well, those are those 4 concussions coming back to fuck with me. That's how stupid I am. I think that 4 concussions years ago, because I ran into a parked car or because a high school kid hit me on the football field, are enough to fuck with my mind. Meanwhile, there are professional football players right now that never lose their keys the way that I do. All that is to say that I'm the type of guy that will stay mad once the reason of my anger is solved. So yeah, wasn't happy at my old job, got a new job. Problem solved, right? Still, doesn't mean it's not so much anger, but there's like emotions there. There's anxiety still. There's still some dark clouds that hang over me, that rain on me every now and then still. Just because I got the new job doesn't mean that I got the new attitude, the new outlook on life. No. Still me, dude. It's just looking a little bit better. Like I said, light at the end of the tunnel. Still in the tunnel, though. It takes me a while. Hopefully I'll be able to ride the high for a long time, but there are lows and there are highs. There are waves to this, man. There are waves. I remember once hearing, God, who was it? Was it Jocko? There's this like crazy like ex-Marine or Navy SEAL. Is it Jocko Willing or something like that? Who's just this dude that just never gives up on anything, like in terms of he's like David Goggins in the sense that you will never outwork out them, if that makes sense. Up at 4 and 5 in the morning doing their workouts. They already sweated a gallon by 4:45 in the morning. Making me feel dumb for drinking a gallon by 4:45 and still haven't gone to sleep. But Jocko explained I don't know if it was depression specifically or just hardships in life as waves in the ocean. And when the waves get really high and really rough, you feel like there's no way out of it, that you're going to drown. And that it doesn't get better than this. And then in between the wave, that's when the water goes down and there's like a calm. And you think to yourself like, okay, maybe I can make it through. Maybe I can survive. It doesn't mean that there's never going to be another wave that comes and makes you feel just as hopeless as you did not that long ago. The important thing is to remember that it is a wave and it's not permanent. It's not constant. So next time you feel like you're going to drown, just remember you're not. That's, I'm where I'm at right now with my life. I feel like I just went through one of those waves. Thankfully, it wasn't even one of the biggest waves I've ever had to swim through in my life. I've been through shit. That wasn't that bad. I just can identify it a little bit better now, perhaps because of, I'm 35. I've lived a little bit longer, than I did before. So I learn a couple of things. If I would have been this depressed at 18, that wave would have felt like a tsunami. But I'm 35 and it just felt like, all right, I've been here before. Tread above water and it will get better. And now I'm at the point right now, this year, I guess, where the wave is, I've gone through the most scary part of the wave and I'm on the way down where I'm seeing that calm ahead of me. I'm seeing it. That's where I'm at with these waves. It comes in waves. So I try to remember that. It's similar kind of to bartending and feeling like you're in the weeds and just realizing like this feels like a crazy thing I can't get through, but push through and you'll realize that rush was just a wave and you breathe and you realize you got it. I'm good. I got this. So I do use that when I'm at work and I use it in life. It's I once heard the saying that your successes only last as long as your next failure, but your failures can live forever. And I don't know if that's just one of the most pessimistic outlooks on life there is, but for some reason that really resonated with me when I heard that. Because it's how I felt. But I guess I never heard it said out loud to like identify with. Your successes only last as long as your next failure, but your failures will live forever. I didn't hear that or read it from some like great philosopher. No, I saw that on an episode of House. That's where I get my soul crushing wisdom from is House, from Dr. Gregory House, the most pessimistic character on basic cable. But it always stuck with me because good doesn't erase the bad, and I don't know if we're as forgiving as we'd like to believe we are. We as a people. Don't if someone lives a great life, lives a great career, but then fucks up badly once, that's what they're known for, right? At least that's how it is for me. Yeah. Even the bartender around the corner from the Comedy Cellar where I work now, I went in for like a beer once. I think it was right after my interview that I felt like I blew. And he was just he was like too nice almost to work in that area, you know? And I was like, wow, you must only have been working here for like 6 months. He's like, yeah, I've been here 8 years. I was like, wow, he's like not jaded by it. He's so nice. And he gave me like a nice compliment, and just about like seeming like I have like a good attitude at least to be behind the bar. So if like my work ethic is anything like my attitude, then I'll be fine. And I don't remember what I said, but I said something where I kind of just deflected the compliment. As I've said here in the past, I'm not good at receiving compliments. So I probably said something where I was self-deprecating in response. A couple of days later, I was back in there, and he was bartending again. And it kind of happened again. I told him that I'm still training and I really don't know what my future is, but I'm sure I'll find a way to like fuck it up or whatever. And he was like, I don't know you that well, but in like the short time the few times that I've met you, you don't accept like positive things about yourself. It's always, you seem very like self-effacing. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely true. And it made me realize like, damn, this guy that's only met me like twice is telling me things that like my friends who have known me years will tell me now. And I'm like, if it's that obvious to people, then maybe stop being so hard on yourself. I don't know. The other thing that, I really loved this bartender, but he did do something that pissed me off a little bit. When I came in, I don't care if you're ask for IDs, that's cool. You're doing your job. I did get mad that he gave me my ID back so quickly. He's like, hey, can I get your ID? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, bro. He looked at it and I blinked and the card was already back in my face. Either that man is a beautiful mind and is a mathematical genius that just works at a bar because it's less traumatic to his genius level intellect, and did the math that quickly that I am at least 21. That's what I have to tell myself, because the only other realistic option is that I'm just that fucking old that if you see 85, I aged myself 2 more years. If you see 87 on a card, then you automatically just know. In my head, this guy's Russell Crowe, beautiful mind. I'm not getting that old, right? Tell me I'm young. Tell me I'm young. Tell me I'm good and tell me I'm young. Tell me a lie is basically what I'm saying. Lie to me. Because if that son of a bitch is not beautiful mind, I'm just... You know how annoying it is as a bartender that sucked that failed out of math class and gets reminded by it or of it through my own dreams? You know how annoying it is to be a bartender IDing someone that's 21 and seeing 2002 on a ID and having to figure out that is actually correct. They are indeed 21. I see 2002 on an ID and I'm like, nice try, kiddo. Get out of here. And then, I do 2023 minus 2002. And I'm like, holy shit. iPhone calculator just proved me wrong. Come on in. And of course, they ordered dirty Shirley's and green tea shots. And probably a sex on the beach. and a mojito. Yeah, I'm getting. That's how I know I'm getting old. He did not take he did not take long looking at my ID. No. Speaking of getting old, you know what else I did to myself recently that made me feel old? To all my like PS5 and Xbox players, to all my gamers out there. I'm not really a gamer, but I do at least like to play sports games every now and then. To all my 2K heads out there that like to play NBA 2K, obviously we create ourselves, right? We live out our dreams vicariously through our video games. It sucked when, like, dude, when growing up, I would create myself. I'd be a 12-year-old boy creating myself, and the youngest I could make myself was like 18. I'm like, fine, I'll go with it. Then I hit 18. I'm like, yeah, this is what it would be if I was in the fucking league right now. I would be, if I actually dedicated myself, this is what it would be. Do you know that I just created myself in 2K like last week or 2 weeks ago, and I made myself 35? Dude, 2K like glitched. 2K was like, nah, you mean 25? 2K asked me, are you sure, dude? Like, you can live out some fantasies. You don't have to be 35. 2K asked me, do you want to give yourself asthma too? There's a thing in 2K when you edit or create a player that you can choose what years in that dude's career he will peak from. So for example, let's say that you look at LeBron James's stats or whatever and you go to edit him. It'll say like he was in the league from 18 to he's fucking 38 now. It might say that his peak was from 22 to, I don't know, 34. 12-year peak. It doesn't mean that he's not good anymore, but that was his peak, you know? I wanted to make myself 35 and be this fucking, like, phenom that didn't peak until he was 35. And that's why he wasn't in the league when he was 21, like every other player. Do you know that in a video game where I'm just living out my greatest fantasies, that wasn't even an option? I'm so old that when I create my own player, I can't even designate my peak to begin at 35. The oldest my peak could begin at was 27. So even PS5 is telling me, bro, you have lived your best days already. Your best days are behind you. I'm creating myself in a video game, and PS5 is saying, nah, not even in a video game is this possible, bro. Mm-mm. I had to set my peak at 27. I had to cheat the system. Yeah, I'm getting up there, man. I'm getting up there in age. It's all good, though. It's all good. Because I still made myself 99 and everything, and I'm the best player in the league. Because that's what would happen if I joined the league and really dedicated myself. But since I didn't, since I chose to be an artist instead of an athlete, here I am. Here I am for you. For my dozen or so people that feel guilty and download this on a weekly basis. I do this for you. Once I start making money, if I ever start making money, then I'll do it for me. While I do it for free, I do it for you. Pay me, and then I'll do it for me. All right? Does that make sense? Oh, man. I go in for another shift today at the old cellar. I'll be up in the cafe today, though. So basically my job up there is to answer a bunch of questions about reservations and stuff. The answer is probably no. There are no way to make a reservation for tonight. Booked weeks in advance, but you know, it's just the way it is. Oh man. So I just want to kind of tie a little bow here if you let me. I am enjoying my time at the new spot. I will do my best to kind of, I guess talk about what I can while respecting what I should. I respect the craft, and I respect the artists behind the craft very much. And I am proud of where I work. And I want to continue working there and being proud of it and being proud of what I do. So, yeah, I'm going to try to mind my P's and Q's. You know what I mean? Going to try to be on my best behavior while I'm at work. Apparently they record the podcast for the Comedy Cellar. I think they have a weekly podcast. I should give that a listen to. And some other podcasts got recorded, like literally just a floor or two above where I work. So that was cool to learn, So I'll see what else I can learn about that. But so far, I will say I am enjoying my time. It is very the stakes feel high, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. I'm definitely more on my game now than have had to be more on my game now than I've had to in a while. And I think that's good. I think it's good for me. I think it's good for where I am in my life and what I need. So that's really all I got for now. I've got a lot of people saying that they want to visit me, and I get it. That's cool. And I want all of you guys to come through and visit me too. Visiting me doesn't mean that you'll really see me much, because I'll be tucked away in a little room making drinks during the show. But yeah, I will definitely keep in touch with you guys about shows and whatnot, and whoever wants to come, hit me up, and I'll see what I can do. It's definitely an experience for sure. Like I can already tell, if you've never seen a show at the Comedy Cellar, it's very New York. And I feel like once you go to a show, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe I've never done that. I can't believe I've lived here and never experienced that. It's cool. It's fun. It's quick too. It's like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if it takes long for other people to sit down or whatever. And you're right next to a bunch of great bars and restaurants and whatnot. So, you make a night out of it. You come to the early show and then head out for drinks. You come to the middle show and maybe meet up for a drink or two somewhere else and then make a night out of it somewhere else. Or you catch the really late show that doesn't get out till 2 a.m. And hell, it's West 4th. So if you want, you could still find a bar that's open till 4 a.m. It's a good time. There's a reason a lot of people from out of town come to visit that spot. There's a lot of fans of comedy that realize that there's two big places, there's two meccas to go if you're a fan of comedy. There's the Comedy Store in LA and there's the Comedy Cellar in New York. I'm not saying that there aren't any amazing comedy clubs outside of that, but those seem to be the two meccas of each coast. And I'm just proud to say that I work at one of them. And that's really it. Again, just thanks again to everyone that reached out and offered words of support and encouragement while I was getting the job. Once they realized I got the job, I'm still getting people that realize that where I work now, that are sending me positive vibes and well wishes. And thank you guys for all that. Really is, it really does matter, and it really is appreciated on my end. And just thanks for that. Really, really, really appreciate it. Besides that, you know what time it is? It's the time of the day or the show that I ask you to be sure to rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts. Follow me on all platforms at I'm Will Bryant. That's 3 words, at I'm Will Bryant. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. Once again, I'm Will Bryant, Bryant, like Kobe. This has been Big Kid with Will Bryant. I'm your host. I'm Will Bryant. Until next time.